Did you know that nearly 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 50 are considering semi-retirement? It's becoming one of the most popular ways to ease into retirement while still enjoying the freedom of more work-life balance. Instead of jumping straight into full retirement, more and more people are testing the waters with a phased approach. Hi, I'm John. I'm 61 years old, and I've been retired for about 1 year. But before I made that leap, I started what I call my semi-retirement experiment. That experiment helped me focus my retirement strategy, build confidence about whether I was financially ready, and validated assumptions I was making about my budget, income, and lifestyle. In this video, I'm going to tackle the fears and doubts that hold many seniors back from achieving their retirement dreams. Everyone's path is different, but I hope by sharing my story, you'll get ideas and maybe even inspiration to explore your own options. Because your retirement dream may be closer than you think. When I began my semi-retirement experiment, I wanted to live as though I was already retired. That meant testing my assumptions against reality. The first step was getting a strict budget. I asked myself, if I stopped working tomorrow, what would my expenses look like? I took a hard look at my spending and started making adjustments. For me, that meant cutting back on impulse buying. No more gadgets or extras I didn't really need. Taking a more DIY approach to projects around my house, everything from small home repairs to landscaping. Dialing back entertainment and dining expenses. Swapping some nights out for home-cooked meals and lower-cost hobbies. And here are 3 other common areas where people sometimes find ways to cut back on expenses. Number 1, downsizing housing costs. Moving to a smaller home or a less expensive area, or even renting for flexibility. Number 2, reducing transportation costs. Maybe switching from being a 2-car family to a 1-car family, or relying more on public transportation, biking, or even walking. And number 3, managing healthcare proactively. Shopping around for healthcare plans, using preventive care, and staying active to reduce long-term costs. But semi-retirement isn't just about saving. It's also about finding income streams that fit this new lifestyle. Many people take on consulting projects, part-time jobs, or side gigs that leverage their skills without the stress of full-time work. For me, I found part-time consulting contracts that averaged about 20 hours a week. That generated roughly half the income I had made during my full-time career, but it was enough to cover my projected retirement budget, and it gave me valuable breathing room. Finally, to take the pressure off, I also built a 3-month safety net. I set aside enough cash to cover my expenses even if the consulting work dried up. That gave me the confidence to move forward without constant stress about every single dollar. So how did the experiment actually go? Well, from a financial perspective, it went better than I expected. It turns out plenty of companies are looking for part-time contractors. It was a win-win. I got the flexible work I wanted, and they got lower cost and an experienced resource. But money wasn't the only factor. Time was a big one. Suddenly I had large blocks of free time, and honestly, at first, I didn't know what to do with myself. And that's a common problem. Many new retirees find themselves adrift once work isn't the center of their day. Some ideas other retirees try include volunteering with local organizations, which gives structure and a sense of purpose. Taking up hobbies that have been put on hold for decades, like painting, gardening, or woodworking. Staying active through classes, sports leagues, or even learning something entirely new, like music or a new language. The key lesson: semi-retirement is a test not just of your finances, but of how you'll spend your days when you no longer have the 9-to-5. So now, like any good experiment, I needed a way to track my progress. So I created a monthly review system to grade myself in 3 categories. Number 1, spending versus budget. Was I sticking to the numbers I set, or was I slipping back to old habits? Number 2, my use of free time. Was I sitting around on the couch, or was I exploring new hobbies and building routines that brought me joy? Number 3, emotional well-being. Did this lifestyle feel satisfying, or was I restless and anxious about the future? There were definitely setbacks. One big one, coming home from vacation to find water leaking from the upstairs bathroom and raining down in my living room. That was an unexpected expense, but it was covered by my savings. It was a clear reminder that retirement planning can't be built on just bare bones budget. You need cushions for emergencies. And it took me a few months to really find my groove about how to spend my time. I realized I didn't want to stop working completely, but I also didn't want the stress of the corporate world either. What I really wanted was meaningful work on my own terms. This experiment led me to a new philosophy. Retirement isn't about quitting, it's about creating. I didn't need endless leisure to be happy. What I needed was purpose, passion, and less stress. So now I had a new goal, and that was to continue my retirement journey, but without the need for corporate contract assignments. What I needed to do was to replace that income with something that supported my long-term financial plans, but provided me with the lifestyle and fulfillment I was looking for. This led to my second act. So, I began exploring different retirement gigs, and eventually I found my way into personal training and wellness coaching. It wasn't just about the money. It was about staying active, helping others, and designing a new chapter of my life that fit perfectly. So if this story is resonating with you, please consider adding your comments and hit that subscribe button, because in future videos, I'll be sharing more about the different gigs I tried and how I landed in wellness coaching. But really, what matters most is this: retirement doesn't have to mean the end of meaningful work. It can actually be a chance to reinvent yourself. So, is semi-retirement right for you? Only you can answer that. But here's a few questions to get you started. What are your financial needs, and can you test them with a reduced budget now? What kind of part-time or flexible income could you generate that feels less like work and more like fulfillment? And how do you imagine spending your free time? Here's a few actionable steps that you can explore right now. Try reducing your spending for 1 month and see how it goes. Research some part-time or consulting opportunities in your field or areas of expertise. And start mapping out hobbies, routines, and ways to build social connections that'll last in your future lifestyle. And now I'd love to hear from you. Would you consider semi-retirement as a path towards early retirement? What fears or doubts are holding you back? What steps have you already taken? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so that we can keep this discussion going. And before I go, please don't forget to subscribe for my weekly videos where I'll dive deeper into other retirement topics, wellness for seniors, and building meaningful second act careers. Thanks for watching, and remember, retirement isn't an ending. It's the beginning of life on your own terms. Take care and have a great day.